ESPN Radio, 92.5 and 1300. It is the bottom line with Brad Taylor. Sports talk from a handicapping perspective. Good afternoon to you. Thank you for joining us on this Morris Day in the Time Tuesday. And somehow, Morris Day in the Time got out of that Forever 250 concert, whatever that was. I don't know what it was now, but they got out of it. And good for them for getting out of it. I still think they're going to be in Indiana in October, but on a Saturday night. We can't go visit them on a Saturday night during football season. That's ridiculous. But anyway, we'll get into that later. You can text us, 859-381-1313. How'd you do in Major League Baseball last night? Last night, our sides, decent. Totals, decent. Made a little bit of a profit. Not one of those best nights ever, but it wasn't one of those also where you took an under in a game like on Sunday night with the Red Sox and the Yankees, 2-0 going in the ninth, and you still lost the under in that one. So, yeah, those are the ones you remember. The ones you win easy, you don't remember those. The only ones you remember are the ones you struggle to lose, so to speak. And we will talk about that later in the show. Also, watch us on YouTube. Stream us right now live. You can watch us. You can see everything behind me. Ted the Gambling Cat, our little shrubbery. We've got a little a ticker for sports gamblers. We've also got our little erase board where we put stupid messages on there. So make sure to be streaming us live on YouTube. Go search ESPN Radio Lexington. You will find us because we're hustling right now, streaming on YouTube live. You can also text us, 859-381-1313. How about the World Cup? 2 games last night, and both of them ended in 90-minute draws. They went to the shootouts. Boy, those draws are cashing. They really are cashing right now. So we will talk to our soccer expert, Sean C. Will we have more draws going on? By the way, right now there's a game going on. It's 1-0. I wouldn't bet against it ending up at 1-1, and we're going to like penalty kicks, just like both games did last night. But once again, the draws dominating in the World Cup. You've been playing those. You've done very well for yourself. There's a reason why those games in the World Cup the last couple of days, we saw one team favored, then the second favorite was a draw, and then the other team was the third favorite. There you go. The numbers don't add up, but they're adding up if you're playing blind draws. How long will this last? Who knows? But they've been very profitable so far. We'll talk to Sean about the games coming up tonight and tomorrow. And, of course, the United States is playing tomorrow night, 8 o'clock game. And we will talk to Sean about that game for sure. As the United States, 8 o'clock tomorrow night, will be playing. We'll be talking about that game with him tomorrow, of course. So text us 859-381-1313. Also, you can follow us on the social medias at BottomLineLex. That's X, that's Twitter, that's Instagram, that's the whole nine. And, of course, you can email us, bottomlinelex@gmail.com, for anything you've got on your mind when it comes to sports gambling. We thank you so much for joining us. Don't forget our picks later in the show at Major League Baseball. A full 15-game slate. We've got all kinds of picks tonight, sides and totals. We will go over those in the most profitable segment of Lexington Radio, our Mac Daddy Stogie picks, along with Sean C's hockey picks, the fastest growing segment of Lexington Radio. By the way, when does this World Cup end? Is it Saturday? Is it like 3 weeks from Saturday or something like that? I don't know. 2 weeks from Saturday. But it'll be, we'll miss the World Cup. A lot of people have been approaching me about betting the World Cup, but I just have to say, I'm just taking draws. It's not fun. That's no fun. You're darn right it's not fun, but it's cashing. So we'll talk about that later in the show. And, of course, we'll have more Stay in the Time, insult jokes later in the show. All this and much, much more coming up. But if you're looking to get your action down and you've said, enough, I'm tired of losing money on these draws that I'm not betting on, it's time to go to circasports.com or just go download the Circa Sports Kentucky app. I have noticed over the years, though, quick aside, what is more painful, a bet that you lose or a bet that you don't make that wins? It is always the bet that you don't make that wins. That is the more painful bet that you didn't make. Something that you would have won, but you didn't bet it, is more painful than a bet you made and it lost. It is mental, it is psychology based, I know, but it's true. Ask yourself that question. I guarantee you the answer is the same. So ask yourself that, because the bets you don't make, but you wanted to make, those hurt a lot more than the bets you lose. But if you're looking to get some action down on this World Cup especially, go check them out. Circa Sports Kentucky, the highest limits, the lowest holds, the best customer service. If you're looking at these money lines and draws for these Circa, for the World Cup games, they have the best across the board. No matter who you're betting on, the draws, just check them out. Compare them to everybody else. That's all we ask. Just compare their odds to everybody else's odds. You'll see the advantages with Circa. It's not, all the glitz and glamour that the other companies, the Square books, use to try to get you in. Hey, look, it's a 20% profit boost on a 4-leg parlay. All anytime goal scores. Good luck with that. But we will say the best odds are at the Circa. Check them out. Kids, you've got exactly 2 weeks. If you're below the age of 21, get your bets in now. Because on the July the 14th, 2 weeks from today, the age of legal gambling sports-wise in the state of Kentucky on these apps goes from 18 to 21. Don't shoot the messenger, kids. Just get your action in now and cash out before the 5th, the 14th or whatever. But we wish you the best. And we're sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But yet again, it is June the 30th. Tomorrow is July, and school starts in August. If you have a problem gambling, call 1-800-426-2537. All this and much, much more coming up on this Morris Day of the Time Tuesday edition of The Bottom Line. We thank you for joining us. Let's try to get some winners tonight. But first, Kirk Herbstreit. Well, we had a game last night, the first of a 4-game set in beautiful downtown Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And yet again, we talked about this guy yesterday for the Brewers, Ashby, who is having a year, an Aaron Ashby. He's having a year that a setup guy dreams of having out of the bullpen. Not because he's been the best pitcher ever, not because he's been the greatest thing since sliced bread. His ERA is 3.24. But the thing is, he has vultured. There's a fantasy football or fantasy roto baseball term for you. He has vultured 11 wins now on the season. We compared him to Mark Eichhorn of the 1986 Blue Jays, which is another one of the great fantasy seasons of all time because he played nothing but bullpen, and he led the league he was among the league leaders in wins, saves, and if he had 6 more innings pitched, he would have qualified for the ERA championship. Should have won the Cy that year, but that's another story. But Aaron Ashby wins a game last night. He leads the major leagues with 11 wins, and he hasn't started a game all year. Go figure, in only 50 innings. That's how the Brewers are winning games, but it's also how the Reds are losing games this year because as we saw last night, once again, the Reds had what they thought was a decent quality start from Nick Lodolo. He only went 5, but he did throw 96 pitches, 5 base runners, 4 of them on walks, and 4 strikeouts. And he turned it over to the bullpen. And the man we talked about yesterday that was involved in the trade for Sonny Gray, Chase Petty, who got his first save last week. Well, this week is not very good. An inning and 2/3, 3 runs allowed. And before you know it, the Brewers get back in the game. Sam Molimo gets up a run. And TJ Antone, who the Reds apparently are hardcore ready to just make sure after this year he never pitches again. The guy's had 3 Tommy John surgeries in the last 4 years, and I feel like they throw him out there every day now. It's almost like, well, Santion's gone. We got to throw somebody out there. He goes in a third of an inning and gives up a run. So the Reds lose one that I'm not going to say they had in the bag because they didn't, although they were up 3-0 after 5. But once again, the bullpen blows it. I'm not going to say they blew it, but the bullpen lost the lead. How's that? And now the Brewers, who got a home run last night in the 8th inning off TJ Antone from their number 9 hitter. And just looking at the Brewers' batting averages, their number 9 hitter last night was hitting .201. The Reds' number 9 hitter is hitting .277. That's Edwin Arroyo. But once again, you look up and down the Reds lineup. You got Matt McLain, who's back under 200 again, 199. Somebody's living the clean if you could still get in the lineup. Even though he is batting 8th now, he bats 2nd for basically a year and a half. But Matt McLain now under 200. How long can you keep running him out there? Heck, they brought back TJ Friedel, and he's went 0 for 2, and now he's batting 173 again. Back down to Louisville for him. Noelvi Marte, 194. Once again, you look at the lineups of these two teams. The Brewers, a winning team, a very good team, second best team in the National League, and the Reds, a team that's kind of losing it. Oh, it's not about average. Didn't you watch Moneyball, Bottom Line Guy? Yeah. How about the on-base percentages then? How many starters last night did the Reds have with an on-base percentage of more than 350? 2. Bleday, 353. Myers, who tore his shoulder up last night, he might be out for eternity after you saw that. He was 358. The Brewers had several players with on-base percentages more than the biggest on the Reds last night, 358. Down the lineup, they had 5 guys with an on-base percentage higher than the Dane Myers, who had the highest on-base for the Reds going into last night. Difference in lineups, difference in starting pitching. That Gasser start last night for the Brewers, that's the worst start the Brewers have had in 2 weeks, and he gave up 3 runs in 5 2/3 innings. That shows you how good this team has been. That shows you what was last night was all about. So the Reds lose again. Go figure. Of course, Ellie did hit a home run. Why is he hitting leadoff? That's another story altogether. But anyway, Reds lose. Dane Myers, Lord knows how long he'll be out for. And yes, just in case the Reds ever have a 9th inning lead, looks like Emilio Pagan will be activated tonight. Oh, goody. And the headline from the Cincinnati Enquirer, Reds closer Pagan on returning from IL. I have big plans for second half. Yeah, you better, because you're a free agent after this, and you're going to have to get a bunch of saves to make some money next year, because Lord knows you're not making anything off what you've done so far this year. Hunter Green, yeah, we talked about why did he waste 5 innings in Louisville on Sunday. Maybe you could have had him against the Brewers this week. No, you're going to save him for the Orioles on Friday night. Looks like he will start on Friday night. So look at here. The Reds are going to get Hunter Green back on Friday. Pagan is back tonight. Time to make a run, right? Well, the odds makers have a little bit different story. We always talk about the little ticker we have behind us that talks about the magic number for the Reds. Magic number is now 68. Wins combined, losses for the Reds combined with wins of the last place team. Yeah, that is now a 68 points where the Reds will be, 68 games is the magic number where the Reds will be eliminated. And yes, the odds makers have no faith in the Reds. To win the division right now, the Reds are 100 to 1. 100 to 1. In other words, they're telling you if they played this season 100 times, the Reds might win once. That's all right. We'll just try to make the playoffs. The Brewers are really good right now. Well, the Reds to make the playoffs are 11 to 1. Not as bad as the Mets and the Giants at 25 to 1 or the Rockies at 50 to 1. So even the Reds have 3 teams worse than them in playoff odds. But what the odds makers are telling us is that they don't have a chance to make the playoffs unless something really drastic happens. And when I say really drastic, how about you chalk pushers out there? Let's say you don't think the Reds are going to make the playoffs. I'm with you. But the odds just to make the playoffs, here's a square book for you, the DKs of the world. Yes, to make the playoffs for the Reds, 11 to 1. No. Let's say I want to make $1 on the Reds not to make the playoffs this year. Safe bet, right? I've got to put up $25 just to win that $1. So I give you $25 now, and at the end of the season, you'll give me $26 if the Reds don't make the playoffs. Doesn't seem like a juice worth the squeeze type of bet, does it? I'm going to give you all that money, and then I've got to wait 4 months just to get my dollar. I've heard stories about how people dodged the IRS and divorce settlements by putting sure thing bets on the Golden State Warriors to make the playoffs that lasted 9 months, so about 10 years ago when they were minus 66,000. We've told that story before. It's pretty good. We'll talk about it again later. But right now, if you're the Reds, you have to ask yourself what's going on. And when you go to a time like this, you look at what the Reds have done since May the 1st. We talk about the scene of the crime last week when the Reds went to Pittsburgh. Because on May 1st, the Reds went to Pittsburgh, and they were winning the National League Central by 1.5 games. We are in the last day of June. The Reds are now 5 games under 500. They are 12.5 games out of the division lead. They're 0-4 against the Brewers this year. They're also 4-18 in their own division. Division games. We've talked about this quite a bit when handicapping. Division games in the NFL especially, those are very important. Those should be handicapped differently than non-division games. Just like conference games in college basketball and college football. We should handicap conference games differently than we do non-conference games, whether they're cupcakes or not. 15 teams are in the National League. Only the Giants, Mets, and Rockies are behind the Reds in terms of the wild card. So, yeah, the Reds are only 6 games out of the wild card, but there's also 6 games ahead of them, teams ahead of them too. But it was all put on the tray for us today from one of the squarest voices around. Kirk Herbstreit. You may remember him. I think he used to hand the ball off to Eddie George when he was at Ohio State, if I'm not mistaken. He was a quarterback at Ohio State. And, yes, his prominence really came when he joined ESPN in the 90s because he had that spiked blonde hair, something I tried to have in the 90s, but my hair left me very quickly. And that's okay. It's kind of, I got over it. Took me a minute, but I got over it. But Kirk Herbstreit is now considered one of the best football announcers there are because he does college football on ESPN all the way to the national championship games. He even does Thursday night football on Amazon with Al Michaels. What kind of a cush job is that? Best play-by-play announcer ever, Al Michaels. That's my opinion. We've all got opinions. But one thing Kirk Herbstreit has always been is kind of a company shill. He's always been about ESPN, and he's always been about, let's just keep everybody happy. Because the one time he said bad things about Ohio State, he is from Columbus. He and his family all from Columbus. It got so bad from him that he had to move to Nashville because it was so bad, the public backlash that came against him. But even an old Reds fan like Kirk Herbstreit was, growing up in Columbus, Ohio, he said it last night, putting on social media. First of all, he started it with, bro. Now I know we're on to something. Kirk Herbstreit says, bro, after 13 straight years of this BS, he didn't say BS, you need to realize you're peeing into the wind. He didn't say peeing. And it will not change. He's talking about the Reds. The Reds baseball season is mid-February to early to mid-May, and that's it. This season was over weeks ago. I feel bad for you with all these tweets. Go watch some soccer. Get some preseason football magazines. Go on a summer trip. Anything but deal with the nonsense of the Reds on a daily basis. It's over. Time to move on. End quote. That was Kirk Herbstreit. That was not me. That was Kirk Herbstreit. Of course, when he said bro to start things off, you knew it was going somewhere rough. But if Kirk Herbstreit is telling us the season is over and he is a daunted Reds fan, yeah, I think you could finally turn out the lights, Reds fans. The odds makers are just being nice by putting odds for you up at 11-1 to make the playoffs. So, yes, even Kirk Herbstreit doesn't think you have much of a chance tonight, Reds Nation. Is that okay? I don't pay attention to Kirk Herbstreit when it comes to gambling in any way, shape, or form. But when it comes to just being real, only in this case, I might just pay attention. But that leads us to tonight's game. Reds and Brewers tonight. It is Rhett Lauder for the Reds. He is going on the mound against Sproat for the Brewers tonight. Don't forget, it is a 7:10 pregame, 7:40 first pitch. Lauder for the Reds, 4.81 ERA. Sproat, 5.43 ERA for the Brewers. And, of course, Sproat, not exactly a good pitcher until he faces the Reds. The last game he pitched was against the Reds. He went 6 innings, allowed 1 base runner, and struck out 10. The game before that, against Cleveland, he had gone 3 2/3 innings and gave up 4 runs. Things that make you go, indeed. This man has a negative WAR on the season. His ERA plus is 77, but he looked like Pete Vukovich circa 1982 for the Brewers last time he faced the Reds. Will this continue? Well, we'll see. Rhett Lauder going for the Reds tonight. We talk about guys who maybe are a little bit better than expected. Well, they're expecting a little bit more from Rhett Lauder, but he hasn't been terrible this year. 0.7 WAR, 4.81 ERA. His ERA plus is 91 in 58 innings. So he's actually been a better pitcher than Sproat has this year. Yet the last time he pitched against the Brewers last week, 5 2/3 innings, 3 runs allowed, and a total of 9 base runners in those 5 2/3 innings. How are we handicapping this game tonight, Reds and Brewers? Money line opened with the Brewers minus 152. It is up to minus 173. That's a 21-cent improvement to the Brewers. And yes, even the squares are on this. 88% of the tickets, 80% of the money is on the Brewers to win this game. Total here has gone from 8.5 to 9. Yet we've seen more money on the under. Exactly the same as last night. Majority of the money on the under, yet we've seen the line go from 8.5 to 9. A classic case where you want to go with the over here. I'm passing on this game tonight, just like I passed on it last night. Our thinking was last night the Reds have the value, but there's no way I could take the Reds right now against the Brewers. And I feel very similar in this case. The line is telling almost a carbon copy story. The Brewers are getting the square and the sharp steam money, and yet a reverse line move to go over the total. I'll stay away from this one again. But once again, yes, the Reds do have value. But as we've said, do you trust that bullpen? Even with Emilio Pagan back tonight, you got to have a game in the 9th inning where you're leading to have him thrown in a safe situation. I'm passing on tonight's game, but if I were to take either side, I'd go Reds and under. That's just me. We have plenty of Mac Daddy Stogies coming up later in the show. But even Kirk Herbstreit, the squarest of square announcers going on right now in college and pro football, even he said it. It's over. You're peeing in the wind if you're the Reds. I remember I used to go out on the farm and pee in this one spot in the yard, and people used to wonder why the grass was dead. That's another story for another day. I was young. Maybe not that young. But Kirk Herbstreit said, don't pee in the wind like the Reds are. But right now, the Reds, game 2 of a 4-game series with the Brewers. And yes, we talked about Chase Burns versus Mizorowski on Thursday. But how many games will the Reds have won in these first 3 leading into that one? We'll find out. And that's the bottom line here on ESPN Radio, 92.5, 1300. Bottom line with Brad Taylor. Sports talk from a handicapping perspective. Even Kirk Herbstreit said, go on a summer trip and get your preseason football magazines. That's exactly what we're doing in a couple weeks. We're gonna take a little vacation during the All-Star break. Well, mainly so I can get my next book going. But that's another story. But coming up after the break, we will talk all kinds of things from a handicapping perspective, including the National Basketball Association. Are we convinced now that LeBron is going to the Warriors? I think some people are in very high places. We'll talk about a few baseball tidbits in terms of things we're looking for. And, of course, our picks in Major League Baseball later, along with Sean C's World Cup picks. It's all coming up right here on ESPN Radio, 92.5, 1300. Soccer fans have been waiting 4 years, and now it's time to bet the tournament at Circa Sports Kentucky. From money lines to totals, goals, scores to futures, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. Player-friendly pricing, enhanced in-game options, and best of all, no bet fees. Whether you're looking for group winners, stage of elimination in your futures, or team totals, goal scores, or time for first goal, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports Kentucky app or visit circasports.com today.
Find your next ride today at Dan Cummins Auto Group. Chevy, Ford, Jeep, Ram, and more. Great deals, hometown service. Visit us in Paris, Georgetown, or Nicholasville, or shop online at dancummins.com.
A small business affirmation from Progressive. Plumbers, today will be a good day. You will be profitable. Your clients will be nice. No one will stand over you and tell you how to fix the thing they actually hired you to fix. You will also feel at peace after switching to Progressive, America's #1 commercial auto insurer. See if you can save in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. #1 commercial auto insurer from the NAIC's 2024 National Premium Data.
Saving money this 4th of July at Menards. Build a stronger deck with AC2 pressure-treated thick decking. It's 15% thicker than 5/4 thin decking. Available in green pressure-treated or pre-finish cedar tone premium with a beautiful brown color pressurized right into the wood. Plus, get free estimates using our deck design program in-store or on Menards.com. Also, check out our weekly flyer on Menards.com for all the great deals happening now.
Save big money at Menards.
No matter the season or the occasion, There's one constant in Lexington. The best food, the best atmosphere, the best service is at Tony's Steaks and Seafood. And as Tony's mom always said, there's always room for one more at our table. Come see why Tony's of Lexington is the very best. Big things are happening at the Woodford Club. Our $1 million renovation brings a new pro shop, cutting-edge simulators, and a beautiful new aquatic center. Come see what's new. Open to the public at thewoodfordclub.com.
Listen to the Alan Cutler Show weekdays noon to 2 on ESPN 92.5 and 1300 AM and on the ESPN Lexington app.
Cash, cold, that's what I need.
The Bottom Line with Brad Taylor on ESPN 1300 AM and 92.5 FM.
Sports talk from a handicapping perspective. Thank you so much for joining us on this Morris Day in the Time Tuesday. I got a lot of kind of feedback yesterday from they're talking about the fanboys. And the fanboys are going to be here on ESPN Radio, apparently. The head fanboy. I've never said his name on this show, and I never will until I'm contractually obligated to do so. I've never said the name of that show on this show. But anyway, head fanboy is going to be on ESPN Radio nationally starting in a few weeks from 3 to 5. And I think we're going to pick him up. And God bless him. They told us, he said that it was his lifelong dream. Hey, go do it, man. That's fine. Good for you. But, I mean, not everybody's cut out to be that. And I wish you well. He had a lot of help. Got how many people's on that show with him? Like 5? There were like 6 people on that show. Yeah. There's only one person on this show, other than Sean, who hits the buttons and give us soccer picks. But, yeah, the thing that kind of gets me is not all of us are made for that. My dream gig was getting on VSiN. Why? Because I'm a sports gambler. So in a sports gambler's eyes, VSiN is a bigger and better gig than ESPN Radio. So to be on VSiN, yeah, that's my dream gig. And that's something I'm not going to try to be somebody I'm not. I'm a sports gambler. And to go on this show is bad enough to talk about sports gambling all the time. But to be on VSiN and get a little sharper and play that game on weekends, yeah, it's cool. And that's my dream gig is VSiN. So, yeah, congrats to him for getting his dream gig. I got my dream gig a while back. So, yeah, talking about sports gambling on, satellite radio and YouTube TV and streaming live and all that stuff. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with him on this station. But I still will not refer to the fanboys other than being the fanboys. We wish them luck, though. We do. Don't knock a man's hustle. I could never do ESPN because I'm too much of a gambler and I talk too much gambling. But hey, let everybody have their side hustle. Don't knock everybody's hustle. So yeah, congrats to them. But yeah, we're still hustling too. Just catch us on VSiN when the time is right. So yeah, that's what's going on in that world. Also, we do look at the fanboy headlines a lot to kind of go unactionable fanboy headlines. It is a sad day for most in the Big Blue Nation because it is Tony Barnhart's. That's the college football announcer. It is Mitch Barnhart's last day as the athletic director. Oh no. But what's going on with what's going to go forward going? They got Jay Bat or whatever his name is, and his first name is an initial, and everybody's talking today the best and worst things about Mitch Barnhart's 20-something years or whatever he did there. Let me ask you a question if you're a sports gambler. Have you ever made a bet on a game based on who the athletic director was? Maybe the decisions he made, but did you ever go into it and say, okay, this team is blankety blank against the spread, money line, the betting splits, blah, blah, blah. Oh, wait, this is the athletic director. I'm going to change everything. No, you haven't. And if you have, that's the wrong way to go about this. So, yeah, good luck to Mitch Barnhart. I know he's a very religious man. God bless you. But, yeah, it doesn't – for me as a sports gambler, doesn't bother me at all. But as somebody who, just doesn't want people to hurt, although they're getting paid nicely, hey, just let him have his hustle. Although I will say this. You talk about SMU back in the 80s. With that great documentary on ESPN talking about the SMU getting the death penalty. Look at this. Fanboy headline. Kentucky reports self-violation of Mo Williams tweeting during the Tyrann Stokes recruiting. Uh-oh. They're now Kentucky has busted themselves for recruiting Tyrann Stokes. Remember that whole TNT thing where Mo Williams tweeted the day of, yeah, I can't wait to hear what you say. He had already made up his mind weeks ago. Yeah, that didn't look good. But, yeah, Kentucky is now reported on themselves. They've turned themselves in. Uh-oh. This has got to really ruin their way to get into the NCAA tournament. No, incredibly enough, they're still 35-1 to win the NCAA tournament, even though they might go on double secret probation. Unbelievable. So here we go. I can't believe Kentucky recruited or turned themselves in. It's unbelievable. Kerr Kriisa is going to be in the TBT for University of Kentucky or whatever they're called now. Wake me when we have good systems for the TBT tournament and maybe betting splits and things of that nature. Meantime, yeah, if you're really betting those games, what are you truly betting on? You're betting on the name on the front of the jersey. That's all you're betting on, and God bless you for it. But I'm just saying. More unactionable headlines. Mark Pope wants Momcilovic to break the Kentucky all-time three-pointer record. Well, I want somebody to break the three-pointer record, too. I want to break the Tecmo Super Bowl record for Bo Jackson, most rushing yards in a season. I don't know if I could do it, but I'll slant things to where they can. Yeah, I want a lot of things in this world. This conversation you're having on June 30th, something tells me 6 months from now, you'll be like, boy, we were looking for anything to talk about in the middle of the summer. Must have been a very boring summer. No, we got the World Cup coming up later. So there you go. Also, I did see that Kentucky football, once again, getting all this publicity as being a great team this year. Because when you watch certain people on social media, one person I saw asked, well, what do you think, hey, fans? We're going to do this show about Kentucky football. What do you think about Kentucky's record this year? Just for slaps and tickles, I looked at all the comments. There were 22 of them that predicted records. 20 of them said 5 or more wins. The 2 that said 4 or less, God bless you. That's all I've got to say. But to see 20 out of 22 say 5 or more, I don't have a problem with 5 saying going over the 4.5 wins right now. The Desert is basically telling you this is a 5-win team. They're not telling you this is an 8-win team or a 9-win team, as I saw a lot of people on social media say. Let's just keep it, just keep it. If you go 6-6 in a bowl, you should be thrilled, Big Blue Nation. By the way, are they? How long are they going to have bowls for 6-6 teams? With this playoff, especially if it goes 24 teams, what's to say what's going on here? So, yeah, that's what's going on. The NBA, Ja Morant is traded from the Grizzlies to the Trailblazers. Somehow I thought both of those teams' odds to win the world championship next year got worse. The Grizzlies did. The Blazers didn't really move at all. They barely moved with better odds. But the real number here is LeBron James. We talked about this yesterday. Current odds to win the NBA championship next season. 3 weeks ago, when the NBA season was basically over, it was Golden State 66-1. 2 days ago, when this kind of went around with LeBron going to the Warriors, they're 40-1. Today, the Warriors are 25-1 to win the NBA championship next year. From 66-1 to 25-1, as LeBron says today, Lakers, nope, sorry, I'm out. I'm not going to be there anymore. Let's see what you can do. So it looks like LeBron maybe to the Warriors. We'll see what happens. But the odds makers are telling us, it's definitely the Warriors when you compare the odds from just a few weeks ago in that one. By the way, the prediction markets have LeBron's next team, Golden State minus 380, Cleveland plus 250, the Heat at 12-1, and everybody else at huge odds. So there you go. It's basically, according to prediction markets, we know how they could be. Golden State, your favorite. Cleveland second. Miami is struggling to hang on to third, and then everybody else. So there you go. Where will LeBron be? It seems like every 4 or 5 years we have to deal with LeBron stuff. And here we go again, dealing with LeBron stuff. There was no bigger story for like 2 different summers than where is LeBron going to play next year. And you talk about the carrying a summer in terms of sports talk radio before I got into sports talk radio. So there you go. Also, what's going on right now, which should not be shocking, Wimbledon is going on. When I was a kid, oh yeah, McEnroe and Connors and Bjorn Borg with a little wooden racket. Then it became Agassi and Sampras. And then it became Djokovic and Federer and Nadal. Now I don't know who it is other than some guy named Sinner that I always try to copy The Simpsons calling him Skinner. But Serena Williams is back, and she's playing. Oh, by the way, there's more money bet on Serena Williams right now than any other women's player to not only win her first match, but to win the tournament. That should tell you something. Those are American sports books. That should tell you how Americans don't really know or care about anything other than Serena Williams coming back. It is tennis season. So, yeah, the 2 weeks of Wimbledon. I remember Wimbledon. Used to ruin my Saturday morning cartoons. I didn't like that at all. So, yeah, those are things that we're looking at in the world of sports gambling right now. Also, we do see our buddy Sean C. has given us an update on soccer. And yes, for the third time in 3 games since yesterday's show, the World Cup is tied at 1. Could it be a third consecutive draw? The game that started 1 o'clock Eastern today. We are in the 75th minute, 77th minute. Ivory Coast and Norway. It is a 1-1 draw. I don't think we can emphasize enough how valuable these draws have been in terms of just cashing tickets in this tournament. We're 13 minutes and injury time away from another draw in this World Cup. So if you have been playing the draws like I have from time to time, hey, let's go get us a yacht. I mean, this thing is crazy right now. We will have Sean C's hockey picks, or soccer picks. I always call it hockey. Soccer picks coming up later in the show. But coming up after the break, let's try to get some winners in Major League Baseball for tonight. And then Sean C's soccer picks, along with Kyle Anderson, our VP of Business Development. He's got soccer picks coming into the station. He demands his soccer picks be read on the air. We will do that coming up later right here on ESPN Radio, 92.5, 1300.
A premium car buying experience is waiting for you when you shop our incredible lineup of premium pre-owned vehicles only at Audi Lexington. I'm Katie George, and this is Audi Lexington's premium pre-owned headquarters. Now you can experience true luxury all in one place when you shop a huge selection of pre-owned BMWs, Lexus, Mercedes-Benz, Audis, and more. Luxury and excellence meet when you visit the premium pre-owned headquarters at Audi Lexington.
Houchins Insurance Group is proud to partner with Auto Owners Insurance, a company that provides opportunity for independent agents to make insurance simple for their clients, offering risk management services that range from a renter's policy for your college student to home and auto coverage for your entire family. Houchins Insurance Group assures you that nobody works harder to keep you protected from life's uncertainties.
Reach out to AJ Boss or Zach Bennett at 859-263-2771 to see if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Soccer fans have been waiting 4 years, and now it's time to bet the tournament at Circa Sports Kentucky. From money lines to totals, goals, scores to futures, Circa Sports has it all. Circa Sports isn't just sports betting, it's sports betting the way it should be. Player-friendly pricing, enhanced in-game options, and best of all, no bet fees. Whether you're looking for group winners, stage of elimination in your futures, or team totals, goal scores, or time for first goal, Circa Sports has you covered. Download the Circa Sports Kentucky app or visit circasports.com today.
ESPN Sports Radio 1392.5.
Oh, here on ESPN Radio. Shout out to our friend Jeff Drummond, the originator of Sid Morris Day and the Time Tuesday. We're going to have to check up on him. We need a contest. Winner of a football picking contest in October gets a free one-way trip to Indiana to see Morris Day and the Time. And free backstage pass. But that's what I would pay for. Backstage pass for Morris Day and the Time. Does it get any better than that? Don't answer that. Let's go to the text line, 859-381-13. Oh, look who it is. It is Captain Sunshine. Captain Sunshine, looking up here, has not texted the show since April the 13th. Where you been, Captain? You okay? Everything all right? How you like me now? There you go. And, of course, he's only going to text us when something wrong happens. I said I wouldn't text anything else about you personally, as I could basically find nothing good to say about you. That's what Captain Sunshine is saying. So I'll ask you how you turned a profit with your baseball picks last night when they went 2-4, and you said you wouldn't be afraid to take it under that went over. Well, I wouldn't be afraid. It doesn't mean I took it. But you're right. I did go 2-4 last night. I just now added it up, and I did not have a successful night at the old ball yard. But guess what? I'm getting right back up, and I'm swinging the bat again tonight. Got several picks tonight, 3 sides, 2 totals. Hopefully, we make a profit here in this one tonight, Mr. Captain Sunshine. I thank you for listening, and I thank you for texting for the first time since April 13th. So, yeah, thank you so much. We wish you the best, and why don't you just stream us on YouTube so you can see what I look like? So when you see me walking down the street, you can throw stuff at me. And, yeah, I'll just be like, oh, that must be Captain Sunshine. So there you go. We wish you the best, Captain Sunshine. May the winners be yours. I don't understand all the hatred. I don't understand all the hatred. We're all trying to hustle. Sports gambling is a very difficult racket. And if you say you win 60% of the time, nobody wins 60. Billy Walters doesn't win 60% of the time. So that's the key to that. Good luck to you, Captain Sunshine. All the best to you. Hey, Jeff Drummond did text us in today. And when he's not happy with the fact that I am staying away from the Reds and Brewers tonight, although I said the Reds do have the value, if you're trusting them, I don't think I can trust that bullpen. Do you trust Pagan tonight? If the Reds are up by 1 run going to the top of the 9th or the bottom of the 9th, do you trust them throwing Pagan to get 3 outs before he gives up a run? I don't think I can. I haven't been proven. But Jeff Drummond says the bumper music should be Alice in Chains. I stay away. So there you go. I am staying away from that game tonight. Although the under looks, if it wasn't for the line, the line is telling us, the market is telling us this game should go over. That's the only thing kind of scaring me off. Otherwise, I feel like I take the Brewers to go under every game they play at home, especially. Didn't last night. Want to tonight, but the market again goes from 8.5 to 9. Money's on the under. That's a reverse line move I don't want any part of. So that's what we're looking at tonight. Good luck to everybody. Thank you, Captain Sunshine and Jeff Drummond, 2 very opposite texters into this show. We wish all of you the very best. Don't forget, you can text us, 859-381-1313. Enough foolishness, bottom line, guy. I need winners tonight in the world of Major League Baseball. And let's start in Toronto. A matchup in where Bo Bichette is going back to his home. What does that matter? Doesn't matter at all if you don't ask me. But we do have the Mets and the Blue Jays. The Mets have been the worst team in all of Major League Baseball this year at cashing tickets. You've lost more money on them than any other team. McLean for the Mets tonight, 4.03. Great start to the season for him. He's been lousy lately. Same thing you could say about one of our favorites, Kevin Gausman, 4.36 ERA. Line here says Toronto is a minus 120. Some places they're up to minus 125 now. That is a slight improvement over where they opened. I'm taking Toronto here tonight. I got the better starting pitcher. I definitely have the better team. The people are kind of split right down the middle. 51% of the tickets are on the Mets to win this game. Yet the Blue Jays have had a slight move in terms of the line for them. I'm taking the Blue Jays at home. Kevin Gausman's got to justify my love eventually. I'm taking the Blue Jays at home tonight. Late about a minus 120, depending on where you shop. Blue Jays have the value in this one tonight. Another game we're going to. Let's go to another one of our favorites. Let's go down to Houston. And Joe Ryan of the Twins, he's on the road in Houston against Joe Burrows of, not that Joe Burrow, but Burrows, the Astros pitcher. It is Ryan, 3.18, and he's out of his peripheral numbers make it better than 3.18. Burrows for the Astros, 5.48. It's Mike Burrows, not Joe Burrows. I wonder what Joe Burrow could do as a pitcher. Probably be a better bullpen guy. 5.48 for Burrows. Here's another spot where I'm getting the better starting pitcher. I'm getting a little bit of line move here. The sharps, the squares are on the Astros. 56% of the tickets are on the Astros. 62% of the money on the Twins. This line's gone from minus 115 to minus 117. Not a huge line move, but I'm going to take the Twins here. Better starting pitcher and the sharp money's on them. Give me the Twins tonight over the Astros. Short road favorites in Houston. And the other one tonight, let's take a basically dog to fave line move. Very kind of on the fence here. San Francisco and Arizona. Brandon is going for the Diamondbacks tonight. You remember him. I think he played at Louisville. But if you look at his name, how it's spelled, it looks like something you would say. It's Foat. It's P-F-A-A-D-T. 5.92. Roop for the Giants, 4.07. Dog to favorite line move most places. Arizona didn't start out a huge favorite, about a minus 115. But now this line is either even money or you're laying a little bit of chalk with the Giants. I want to take the Giants here. Dog to favorite line move. Better starting pitcher. Money's on the Arizona. How come we've gone dog to favorite here? Give me San Francisco. On the road, it's a shortest of favorites over the Arizona Diamondbacks. Let's go to a couple totals we like tonight. You're looking for a game to play here and a pitcher to play. Christopher Sanchez of the Phillies. When he is a home favorite, he is 33-8, and that's since 2024. Last 20 games, the Phillies are 17-3 when he starts. That is the most profitable of any starting pitcher in the last 3 years. But you also have to lay minus 233. I don't want any part of that. But I do see a total here at 8.5. All the money's on the over. Give me under the 8.5. Sanchez and the Phillies. Will the Pirates get more than 2.5 runs? I'm not sure. If they do, it might be after Sanchez leaves. I'm taking under 8.5 Pirates and Phillies in this one after the Pirates put up a ton last night on them. And again, tonight, let's go to Yankee Stadium. Look at this pitching matchup. Skubal, who's about to be traded. We don't know where. Won't be the Reds. And Schlittler for the Yankees. He's probably the American League Cy Young winner right now. This total's gone from 7.5 to 7. All the money's on the over. 84% of the tickets, 77% of the money is on over 7 runs. Yeah, give me under. The best. The last 2 Cy Young winners in the American League was Skubal. This year's will be Schlittler. Under 7 runs with the Tigers and the Yankees. So our best bets in Major League Baseball tonight, 3 sides. Toronto, Minnesota, and San Francisco. And under in 2 games, Christopher Sanchez in the Phillies game, and the 2 best pitchers in the American League when they're on in the Bronx under the 7. Take those bad boys to the desert and smoke them here on ESPN Radio 92.5, 1300. But coming up after the break, it is soccer picks galore with Sean C. We will get an update on the World Cup because right now it looks like could we be heading to yet another overtime kind of penalty kickoff. Oh, Norway is up 2-1. We'll talk about that with Sean coming up next. ESPN Radio 92.5 and 1300.
Hey guys, Cody Burke here, owner of Burke's Plumbing and Septic. If you're in need of a plumber or a septic installer, give us a call. We do a variety of plumbing and septic work. We are a local, family-owned and operated company. We serve the following counties: Montgomery, Bourbon, Fayette, Clark, Fleming, and lots more. Our number is 859-432-6209. Again, 859-432-6209. Let us earn your business.
Welcome to bigger savings, better service, and more selection. Welcome to the all-new Kia of Lexington.
Where the Kia Summer Sticker Sales event is on. Drive the new 2026 Kia Sorento for just $269 a month or get 0% financing.
And don't forget our 15-minute guarantee. Get your transparent price and payment and get back on the road in your new Kia. Great deals delivered fast at Kia of Lexington.
2026 Kia Sorento, $269 per month, $29.99 with signing, 24-month lease, 10,000 miles per year. Plus tax, title, license, doc, and acquisition fees. With approved credit, security deposit required. Price may not include dealer added options. See dealer for details. Good through Kia Motors Finance. Offer expires June 30th, 2026.
Listen to the Alan Cutler Show weekdays noon to 2 on ESPN 92.5 and 1300 AM and on the ESPN Lexington app.
Pink, Holland, anytime goal.
Bright light city, gonna set my soul on fire.
ESPN Radio 92.5, 1300. Bottom line with Brad Taylor, sports talk from a handicapping perspective. Before we get to Sean C's soccer picks, let's go to our VP of Business Development here at LM Communications, one Kyle Anderson. Who does he have in his soccer picks coming up later today? He's going to take a draw at plus money between Mexico and Ecuador, and England and France will win, he says, but the odds are a high negative. So his best bet, Mexico and Ecuador draw, and just look out for England and France because the odds are high, but maybe not a good time to lay that kind of chalk. But speaking of someone who laid that kind of chalk, I just saw a goal in the World Cup, and it was scored by a guy who our next guest said was an anytime goal scorer. He is Sean C. Sean, how are you today, sir?
Doing better now.
I bet you are. I bet you. Tell us about what you just saw with this Norway game that's heading right to injury time now.
Yeah, it was well on its way to being a draw with no goal for Erling Haaland. Now it is well on its way to being a Norway win with a goal for Erling Haaland. So both halves of that prediction will be coming to fruition unless something happens in stoppage time.
You didn't jinx anything right there. I know you didn't.
No.
Not at all. So, so we're very happy about that because you look much smarter and I have a better bankroll. So thank you so much for those. Let's just hold on for dear life. Maybe this thing will end by the time we get off the air here. We'll see. But let's talk about the games that are coming up. We've got games, a couple of games tonight and one game tomorrow. The game coming up tonight, or about 5 o'clock this afternoon, it is France and Sweden. And France is considered one of the favorites to win this thing. And in fact, they are big favorites to win this game coming up tonight. Our friends at Circa, who have the best odds for these, has France at a minus 385 to win this game in 90 minutes. Of course, the draw plus 520, and Sweden 10-1 to win this game in 90 minutes. Your thoughts on France, Sweden, where the total in this one is a high 3.5 goals here, Sean?
Yeah, if Sweden were capable of playing a good defensive game, I'd say there would be a better chance of a draw. I think France wins this one. I like the over. I think it ends up being like a 3-1 game. Both teams to score is at minus 105. So I think the Sharps also like Sweden to get a goal, but France to get more goals. And I like Ousmane Dembele at plus 135 for an anytime goal. He scored a hat trick a couple matches ago. He scored another goal after that. He's got 4 goals in the tournament, and he is pretty hot right now. Kylian Mbappe is the popular pick, but you're not getting good money on him. You're getting plus 135 with Dembele and plus 125 on the 3.5 over.
So let's go over the 3.5 in that game, and Dembele to, score a goal in this one. But that's minus 350. It's just too much delay for your opinion.
Yeah, if you like them to win, they're goal and a half favorites. If you like that, you can get that at minus 138, but you're still getting negative money there. So just stick with the over at plus 125. Both teams to score if you really want to. You're getting minus 105, and Ousmane Dembele plus 135 for an anytime goal.
Over Dembele and the old BTTS, which has become a favorite amongst the Sharps going in that one. All right, so France and Sweden, that's 5 o'clock. Let's go to the 9 o'clock game tonight. Mexico and Ecuador. And the lines for this one from our friends at Circa has Mexico plus 118, a draw plus 193, and Ecuador, the long shot, at plus 313. Total is 2 in this one. A lot of chalk to the under, so they're telling you this is probably a 1-goal, 1-0 type game. Your thoughts here on this one, Sean?
I saw that draw at plus 210 a little while ago, and I like that very much. If you can find it there still, jump on that. If you can find it at 195, that's okay too. I do like the draw. This is being played at Estadio Azteca, which is at about 7,700 feet. Normally that's an advantage for Mexico, but the Ecuadorian team plays in Quito, Ecuador, which is 2,000 feet higher than Mexico City. So they're used to playing at that elevation and more. I like a draw in regulation at plus 195. You said, I think 193. Mm-hmm. And I'm seeing Ecuador to advance. You don't have to pick them to win in 90. Ecuador to advance, you're getting about plus 150. That's the way I would play this one. The draw, Ecuador to advance.
Make sure when you're betting these two that if you just want the team to advance, that's a different bet than what you see on the front page where it's just what you see after 90 minutes plus injury time. They are completely different bets, so make sure you're not getting yourself in trouble, kind of like when you get a pitcher canceled in Major League Baseball and you didn't get the listed pitcher. It's that type of thing. So Ecuador to advance and look to play the draw in the 90 minutes in that game. So that's Ecuador and Mexico. And Donde es Biblioteca, as they're playing at the Azteca. So there you go. Something about a library. I'm not knowing. Yeah, there you go. Okay. Thank you, God. Let's go to tomorrow afternoon's game. This game will start at noon, and it starts before our show, so we're going to include it here. England against the Congo, the DR here, and England a big favorite, minus 350. Once again, the draw, your second favorite, plus 433. The Congo is 12-1. Total is 2.5 here, Sean. Any reason to go against the English here?
I tried to convince myself to go against England here because there's nothing to be gained by England winning monetarily. And they're a hard team to read, England, because they can look really good. And then the next match they can play 0-0 with Senegal or whoever it was in that last night. Ghana. They played a 0-0 draw with Ghana. So England is a little bit schizophrenic, but I think they've got enough to get past Congo. I like them at minus 1.5. You can get that around minus 115. I like Harry Kane. He was quiet the last couple matches, but I like him to break loose here for a couple of goals. You can get plus 400 on that. I like the over 2.5. You can get plus 100 on that.
So over in that game, Kane to score. He's one of those guys who's always up for the golden boot. That's in the game tomorrow. So you say just stay away from the side because that's a lot of chalk, and you don't think that England has a chance to lose this one. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think if you want to bet the spread at minus 1.5, you can do that at you still get negative money, but it's close. You're getting minus 115. You can make a little bit off of that. But throw Harry Kane down at plus 400 for 2 goals. 2 goals or more for Harry Kane.
Harry Kane, plus 400 for 2+ goals. So let's go over the best bets for the next 3 games for tonight and tomorrow from Sean C., our soccer expert. In the first game, France-Sweden, you're going to lay a lot of chalk. Let's go over the 3.5 goals there. Both teams to score, and let's take Dembele to get an anytime goal. The next game, Ecuador to advance, and don't be afraid to take a draw in the first 90 minutes of that one. And in the English game tomorrow, Kane to score multiple goals at 4-1. Let's go over that total of 2.5. Anything else to look at for tonight's and tomorrow's games, Sean? Because once again, the draws are going crazy. 2 more last night. We almost had another one today.
Yeah, and there's still the slim possibility we'll get one today. They're in the 8th minute of stoppage time. Still going on. As far as the games that are going to be on tomorrow before we go, yeah, you got everything I've got for them. Tomorrow night, if I am not mistaken, I'm looking ahead to the schedule. That is the United States and Bosnia.
We will definitely talk about that one tomorrow. And we do have a final. It is over. Norway 2, Ivory Coast 1. That did not end in a tie. And our guy Holland, a goal in the 86th minute. Great call by you, Sean. Make sure you get your studying in tonight. We will go back to you tomorrow for hopefully some more winners. Thank you, sir. May the winners be yours.
Thank you. You as well.
What did we learn on the bottom line today? Well, we learned it. Even Kirk Herbstreit, Mr. Square himself, has said, we're peeing into the wind if we're rooting for the Reds. Maybe don't try it yourself, but I get the analogy. We also talked about our Major League Baseball picks for tonight and Sean C's soccer picks and Kyle Anderson's soccer picks. If you missed it, ESPNLex.com. Thanks so much for joining us. And, of course, we're running a little bit late, so don't forget Wildcat Drive today, 4 to 6. Reds and Brewers, 7:10 pregame, 7:40 first pitch. Alan Cutler tomorrow at noon. Thanks for joining us. And until next time, as always, may the winners be yours. King, I've got soccer fever. Catch it. It lasts till the next winning ticket. Thank you very much.
Viva Las Vegas!